Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back talking about altcoin season. Are we close? Are we going to see things kicking off in the next few weeks? As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin in the description of this video down below. Go ahead, grab it for yourself, and let's talk about altcoins. So, first and foremost, we have to understand what's happening with Bitcoin so we can make an assessment as to whether we're truly going to be moving into an altcoin season. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen Bitcoin making moves back up above 100,000 US dollars. We can see we're currently sitting just over 103,000, and Bitcoin's been putting in some nice patterns of accumulation followed by breakouts followed by accumulation. So again, what I'm thinking is we might see Bitcoin accumulating here for a few more days before moving on to retest previous all-time highs between 106 and 109,000 US dollars. Okay, we know when Bitcoin makes these types of moves, we see many altcoins making larger moves on a percentage basis. We can see that very clearly with Bitcoin, for example, up off of its lows, is up currently about 38%. And when you look at one of the leading altcoins this cycle, something like Sui, measuring it from its lows on a percentage basis, is up 132%. So it is up 3 times Bitcoin's percentage move over the same time period here in the past couple of weeks. So again, this is what we mean by a true altcoin season. You're seeing very early glimpses of it potentially with some of the leading altcoins outperforming Bitcoin on a percentage basis, but a true altcoin season is when pretty much every single alt consistently outperforms Bitcoin for multiple weeks, if not multiple months. All we have to do is go to the Bitcoin dominance chart to see what happened here in the previous cycle to paint the full picture. If we go all the way back to 2021, you can see Bitcoin dominance peaked up here around that 70% area by the time we got to the end of December 2020 and early January 2021. We saw a very sharp breakdown in Bitcoin dominance here through Q1 and through Q 2021, and that decrease in Bitcoin dominance all through the first half of 2021 was your true altcoin season. You saw Bitcoin dominance breaking down for 5 to 6 months. You can see it didn't truly bottom until the middle of May 2021. And this period is when pretty much every single altcoin in the market significantly outperform Bitcoin. You can see we've been looking at Bitcoin dominance here for the past couple of years, not really breaking its uptrend all that much. We had a very small period here in November, December 2024, where Bitcoin dominance broke below its 200-day, but reclaimed it 2 or 3 weeks later and has kept marching from 55% up to these highs of around 65%. Now you'll notice what's happening here over the past few days is that we are seeing Bitcoin dominance begin to break down. So that larger breakdown in 2021 that lasted 5 to 6 months needs to be much longer extended here on this chart to the downside for Bitcoin dominance. If we're going to see a true altcoin season, we need to see Bitcoin dominance getting all the way back down to this maybe 45 to 50% area, but we're not seeing it fully break down just yet. We are seeing 3 days of red candles, and technically speaking, this is the largest breakdown on a percentage basis for Bitcoin dominance since that move that it made to the downside all the way back here in November of 2024. So again, let's wait and see what happens. It is looking like this may have been the peak of Bitcoin dominance for the cycle. However, we do need to wait and see because there is more resistance up here at around 65%. And even higher at 70%, this may just be a shorter term correction before a bounce back up, getting to these highs and then breaking down much more dramatically. So let's wait and see what happens. A couple of other key charts that are important to keep an eye on when assessing total crypto market cap, dominance, and altcoin season. If we look at total 3, we can see this is market cap of everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Total 3 reclaiming the 200-day simple moving average here, moving higher, and this bodes pretty well for altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Others.D though is still well below that 200-day simple moving average. We need to see others dominance break back up here, reclaim the 200-day and keep moving higher if we're going to really solidify a true altcoin season here in 2025. Again, a couple of other quick charts I will use to round off the full conversation here. We're looking at USDT dominance here. And again, what we typically see with dominance levels for stablecoins is dominance decreasing correlated with altcoin season kicking off. So what that means, and I was talking about this here a few weeks ago on the channel, you can see we had dominance for stablecoins increasing here all through Q1 before we got up to this peak of about 8.55% dominance, combining USDT and USDC. And now we started to break down as Bitcoin has started to move back up in price. And again, this makes sense when you think about it on a practical level. Obviously, when people are selling out of altcoins and selling out of Bitcoin as prices are going down, they are going to rotate their capital into into stablecoins, and the stablecoin dominance increases as a result of that. So this increase in stablecoin dominance is essentially as a result of people selling off their Bitcoin, selling off their altcoins all throughout Q1. And now that we reached some bottoming patterns on most of those alts and Bitcoin, you're seeing stablecoin dominance decreasing because people are scooping up Bitcoin, they're scooping up altcoins once again. And what I think we might see here in the coming weeks is this stablecoin dominance breaking back below the 200-day simple moving average. You can see we're finding it here as support as we're speaking. It acted as resistance here when it was coming back up here as we came into February and March of this year. So what I'm thinking is we're going to see this break, possibly holding as support for a while before breaking lower, letting alts run extra hard. You can see that same pattern played out here back in October, November, when we had that run. We had the 200-day holding as support for stablecoin dominance before breaking down, and this rally here essentially all through November and December was a little mini altcoin rally and a mini altcoin season. So zooming out even further on the chart here, if we're trying to see what's going to happen with regards to stablecoin dominance, I do think we have the potential, if we get into a true altcoin season, for stablecoin dominance to break even lower than this level here that held as support back in December. I think we would actually break below that, get down to maybe the 2 to 2.5% dominance area for stablecoin dominance. You can see by the time that we got to the peak of that kind of altcoin rally back in 2021, you saw stablecoin dominance getting all the way down to that area between 2.5%. Okay, so let's see what happens. We need to wait and see this play out. It could be weeks, if not months, for all of that to actually play out over time. But that is what I'd be looking for happening on this particular chart if we do get altcoins starting to run even harder. And again, if I jump over here to this chart, this is total 3 minus the USDT and USDC stablecoins mapped against Bitcoin. And many analysts were making the point that maybe we needed to see altcoins bleeding out a little bit further against Bitcoin to get all the way down to this level of support before seeing a bounce to the upside. And that may well still play out. But if we zoom into the daily chart here very quickly, you can see that we did come all the way down to this level at 0.31 before getting this bounce here in the past few days. Maybe we don't need to get all the way down to this level of support before bouncing, and we're actually getting a bounce here where we are. But this level of support is support that goes all the way back to the previous cycle, going back to levels in September 2019, again in December 2019, May in 2020, and also here we even went a little bit lower here in January of 2021 for alts against Bitcoin before we saw your altcoin season. And once again, this was your true altcoin season. If I zoom out on the chart here, making this move to the upside, this was your true altcoin rally. Alt bottoming against Bitcoin, rallying super hard here throughout Q1 and Q2 of 2021 before peaking up here in the middle of May. So let's see what happens. We may not need to come down to test this level of support. We may be ready to break up. We need to reclaim the 200-day and start moving higher. And again, I'd be looking for a pattern on the chart here more similar to what we got in 2021 to really signify a true altcoin season. You might be looking at this getting up to somewhere around, you know, the 94, 95 area for your true altcoin season peak. And then again, people start to sell off, people start to rotate back into Bitcoin, take profits out of alts, and that will eventually dwindle back down again. So again, that is the update for altcoin season, guys. I think we could be in for an interesting few months. We know that Bitcoin is following global M2 liquidity. If I put this on the daily chart again, zooming out, we can see just how much Bitcoin has been following global M2 here over the past few weeks as it has made this journey and this move back up above the $100,000 area. I'm struggling to get the M2 to work on the chart here, so we'll leave it for now. But I am excited about what's going to be happening here over the coming months. I'd love to see us retesting previous all-time highs, moving higher, and seeing alts make a run for it as well. That is it for today's video, guys. Again, if you're interested in learning how you can generate passive income with DeFi liquidity provision and crypto, head on over to the UIG. There's a link in the description below this video. I'm helping a bunch of clients learn how to provide liquidity, generate cash flow, doing DeFi liquidity provision on DEXs and protocols on Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and many, many more. There's a completely free course, even if you don't want to join the paid group. If you do want to join the paid group, drop a comment below this video. I have a discount link for you, so drop a comment if you want that discount link. And we're also sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. Again, this is not financial advice, guys, but if you're looking to capitalize on altcoin season, you might be able to purchase and trade many of those alts over on Femex. Do your own research. Make sure to look at the charts, look at the fundamentals, proceed with caution. If you got any value out of today's video, guys, I would love it if you gave a thumbs up on the video below. It doesn't take anything at all. It would mean the world for you to drop a thumbs up just below the video here on your screen. Please take a moment to do it. I would appreciate it. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and again, grab your completely free copy, The Rise of Bitcoin. It's waiting for you in the description below this video. Grab it now, and we'll catch you in the next one.